big rig today. We're not going racing though.
It's been a while since we've been in here. No, it makes me happy. And then I remember we're not going racing.
Yeah. So, you know, we like decent stereo systems in our rides.
Everything we have has to have some sort of decent radio.
And since we're going to spend hopefully a lot of miles in this thing this year, we're headed to Stillwater, Oklahoma, over to Kicker headquarters, and they're going to hook this thing up with a stereo.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Just something that sounds better. The truck itself, man, it's treble rebel in here, and it's not near as loud on the driver's side. So Sean got to turn it up, and I do most of my time over here. Man, it just blasts my eardrums out.
Yep.
So we get something done in here, and then we're gonna let them hook the stacker trailer up.
There's some low branches back there.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, you gotta watch those.
I know.
So they're gonna hook the stacker trailer up. Nothing too crazy, you know. Maybe just replace the speakers that are in there with some nice kicker stuff. Maybe a sub.
Yeah, no amps or anything.
Yeah. Nothing crazy like the shop, but just something that sounds better, and we can, you know, have some decent music to listen to while we're working on the car this summer. So
yes, and Lutz's whole kicker concert is enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So we don't want anything crazy like what Lutz has. You know, the shit that's gonna keep everybody up at night.
Yeah.
We just want something that beats a little bit, you know, but isn't gonna kill everybody when they're trying to sleep at night and we're up all night swapping out motors or doing whatever it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
I have to stop.
That's from back in the day.
Yeah.
Dual cones.
So kind of going over with the guys what we're looking for here in the trailer.
What's the radio station here? 93.7. We're fixing to show them how shitty it is. Like that's really about it right there. I mean, look, man, I got an $80,000 trailer here, and look at this radio. But this is like having a $5 battery in an $80,000 race car or some shit.
Heck yes.
What the fuck? Or like a shitty ass shifter. You know, that you can't hardly.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're here to fix that.
Yeah.
It just amazes me they do that. Why? And I don't think that there's any other. There's these two. I don't think that there's. Is that where you're at most of the time? Oh yeah, no. There's two right there. Yeah. So when I did Chiefs, we just fucking did like 2 6x9s in it. That's perfect with a good power, and it hammered. Okay. It sounded really good. So I'm thinking if we did, you know, something to that effect, like 4 5 1/4s or 6 1/2, just something that'll play mid bass and up. Yes. And then find a way to sneak a sub in here. The tricky part of that is with some of the trailers I've done, like I've had the car in the trailer at some point. So mine will all be upstairs. So your car there won't be a car down here. Okay. I mean, I can put one down here, but I would assume if you want to put a sub in it, use this area right here. I don't care. You can use that the whole way, all the way back to that.
Instead of under the stand.
Totally fine with it. If you wanted to put amps, like he said, down there, I'm totally fine. Or if you want to put the amps up there, you know, closer towards the head unit. Whatever. I'm pretty easy. I know that I know you're not going to do anything that I'm going to look at or listen to and go, God damn. You know what I mean? I know you well enough to know that whatever you do is going to be badass, and I'm cool with it. Okay. So when I get it in and figure something out, I'll probably shoot you some pictures and maybe text you and, hey, when can we talk? And I can come down. I don't care. Like literally, it's an hour and a half. Okay. Whatever. But I'll be figuring that out over the next couple of days, and you know, like we were saying.
All right, so Kicker called us. They said, hey, come get your stuff out of our way.
Yeah, get it out of here.
It's been so much snow going on. He's been done with it for a week.
Yeah.
You know, but man,
I ain't trying to drive this thing in no snow and ice.
Not only that, this thing sits outside at my house.
Yeah.
This thing's set in a 50-degree shop at Kicker whenever all the snow was happening.
Yeah.
All the other guys in the group text that I'm in are talking about their batteries are dead, everything's frozen up, none of the generators will run, and I'm going,
man, I'm glad.
Yeah, better y'all than me,
yeah.
You know? So luckily they housed this deal for me and put a stereo system in both. So
truck and trailer's done,
check
so
these deals out.
Let's see it.
So, all right, we in the front first? Start working our way about.
work on those. So
All right,
Okay,
got
let me
some-
see.
Got some speakers up there in the corner.
What's this deal?
that is your bass knob.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think that was there before. Is there a 10 on it? We need to put 10 over here.
They just all the way up.
All the way up. All right, let me see.
Yeah, put door speakers in it, so you've got a little bit more mid bass.
Right on.
So, look, just to let everybody know, we told him, no, we don't need anything in the truck. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal,
Just
you know?
put another set of 4-inch in there.
Yeah, no, I look, all I cared about was these. You know, just put some decent ones in there. There it is. That's all I'll ever need up here, man.
And that's probably full tilt. No, there's a little more left in it, but you can cut it back or add more or whatever. There's a little bit of phasing stuff going on in here where certain
Sure.
and it's, you know, it's having the open stuff behind it and everything, but that's all I could come up with. You can't do anything behind this seat because everything moves.
So this box has, oh, and there's 2 tins in there, huh?
Yeah, it's
That's what I said. It's just like in your little white truck.
Yeah.
That's the same box and everything as your little white truck has. Sorry, shop truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, and I like this too. That way, if anybody's sleeping back there or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't really turn it up that loud when I'm driving.
Right.
Like,
It's,
most of the time,
you know.
well, and nowadays, we're filming or we're talking about what we got to do to the race car when we get there, or
sure.
we talk about, you know, just kicked everybody's asses or why we lost, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But the bad thing about it up here is when you're driving down the highway and just to break the noise level is difficult. I mean, that rig's the same
definitely.
way.
And driving down the road, there's so much wind noise. Like,
Exactly.
let's be
Yeah.
honest, this truck's a piece of shit. There's a lot of wind noise over
It's
here.
been around.
You know, hey, I like it,
Dude,
because it's the
a
first
nice
toter I
setup.
ever bought. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
but
and it's
for what-
mine. You
but
know,
what you need, it does everything you need.
does
it to
everything
do.
I
And dude,
need.
That trailer.
There's nicer ones. Oh, the trailers.
It's
I'm happy with the
legit.
trailer. The trailer's
Yeah.
legit. Like, and I don't want to downplay what you did in here, but that's what I'm anxious about seeing is the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get too rough with it.
I don't care.
Want to take
I
up
told
too
you
much
not
room,
to, but I told you not to. You
Perfect.
know, like this is perfect. You know, so man, this is
That
more
sounds
than
good
enough
up there,
here, man.
though,
More
man.
than enough.
So we got the 2 speakers up top there to replace them.
Some in
We
the
put
door.
brand new ones in the door, and then added 2 tins back here. That's
And then, so what is the stuff in the back there?
Which back?
I saw 2 more speakers
So
back here.
your TV setup,
Uh huh.
they had 4 speakers in here for it, but there was an amp up there that wasn't hooked up.
Okay.
But they were all weird impedances and everything like that. So we switched out all the speakers, put one of our key amps in. We can't do the tuning and everything like you would do in a car, but it will work as a small 4-channel amp. And so we hooked that up through your TV.
So now my TV's gonna play through those speakers?
Yes.
Oh shit.
like surround sound in here.
Man, can
Yeah.
I go back here? Can you show me?
Heck yeah.
Oh shit.
So there are a couple of tricks to making it happen.
Can you turn this on? Yeah.
There's a button up there, and it says
I saw that says turn off when not in use.
It lights up, so when you turn it on, it'll light up. The idea was to have it there, you could see it from down here and know to turn it off.
Yes. Yes.
And it's got a key amp, and then you just turn your TV on and run your DVD or your cable box or whatever.
And does it run through the remote that you turn the TV
Yes.
up? And no
Yes.
shit.
The TV is your volume support, like a head unit.
Yeah.
And so it sends signal to our amp.
Man, that's badass.
And we ran into a little bit of 12 volt to 110 stuff, but got it fixed.
Wasn't nothing you
So-
couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
So I need to run through okay. That's no problem. That's no problem. Oh. Okay. Day 1, almost forgot to turn that
Yep.
deal off already.
There you
That's
go.
awesome, man. Man, that's gonna be. You don't understand being around the cars.
It's loud.
No, well, and you're around stereo, so
Well,
that's
and
not
I've
really
been to-
fair
I've
for me
been
not
to
to say
drag-
you don't understand.
Well, no, and I've
But
been to a lot of drag races
and I'm
too.
getting deaf. You know what I mean? I'm getting
hell
deaf.
yeah.
So I lay in bed at night here, and my wife's always like, "Can you hear it?" And I'm like, "Huh?" You know, no, I really can't. I'm getting to where
You're in a loud
hearing is
environment.
being a problem. You know, so I have this set on 100 at night whenever I'm watching,
have to do that.
and I still can't, especially when these air conditioners are running.
Yeah,
I
because they're
can't
kind of
hear
noisy.
shit whenever the air
You got
conditioners
guys like
running.
Lutz doing his thing.
No doubt. You got guys like Lutz rattling your walls with his stereo and stuff,
Yep.
thanks to Kicker.
Yeah, the
you know?
kicker also built things.
Yeah, so
Man, that's awesome. That's gonna help me out so much. And we're fixing to use this whole deal again. We're leaving next month again. So you're doing. They do some cool stuff. All right, let's see this.
Yeah, this is where we're gonna be.
So instead of having, you said you weren't gonna put that in it. Well.
He lied.
So he lied to me, didn't he? I'm talking to you, and it's like I'm thinking that thing's like den height, and then I come back here later, and Jeremy's like, "Dude, why can't you put one in it?" And I'm like, "Dude, it won't." Wait a minute.
So that's their
like,
KM.
well, we'll just tell him about that when he gets here.
That's their KMC5. This is the same head unit that we're putting in the 55. I actually got one for
I
my
just
truck
put it
too.
in the 55 the other day.
It's cool.
Man,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
turn that deal on.
So we need to turn the generator on. I don't think I turned that on. Oh yeah, I did. And by the way, I don't know how much fuel you got in the generator.
We don't either.
We don't either. I do know after I put, I'm going to tell you all this. After I put fuel in the generator, when you hit the button, it does go up. Yeah, but okay, I'm just always done. I'm just saying it went down before we put the fuel in it. That's new.
The power supply.
That is your power supply. Remember the one that was jacked up? I didn't remember.
That's that thing that we pulled out.
Okay, where was that? I showed you the fuse that was. Yes. That was up in here. Up in this. So what all electrical? Hit the upper lights. So what we've done is we yanked that guy out, put an excess power supply in it. Wow. Excess battery. So you have a bottom battery and a top battery. And I need to turn both of them off. There's a kill switch. Right. And right now it's on. That turns it off. When you turn that on, they're connected. The reason I did this is there's a reason they put switches on stuff. Generally, they put big switches on stuff because they run stuff dead. Yes. And then I got you telling me, hey, stuff keeps running. There's always draw on them, you know? So what I've done is made it where this can be isolated. Now, that's the first thing you need to do, and then you need to turn the power supply on. Now, realistically, you can just leave it on. And when you shut the generator off, it'll shut off. But flip this to off just so that stuff's not blind. For sure, you know, draws or whatever. I tried to figure it all out. It's always a nightmare whenever I get in here and everything's dead, you know. So hopefully you won't have to worry about that. This basically is doing double duty. It's doing what your old one did that it was not doing anymore. Yes. And then it also charges this battery. Yeah, I can see it. Look at it.
Yep, 14.3.
And it tells you what it's voltage and everything. That's badass. So that also works not only as a power supply, it also works as a trickle charger. The power supply that was in here, think of it like a dozer. It just destroys everything. It just forces power. But what happens is you leave that on for a long period of time without any draw. It's like putting a battery on 50 amp boost and leaving it forever.
Oh wow.
It just melts the battery. Eventually ruins it. Yeah. It ruins everything in the battery. Yeah. So this will do 60 amps, then cut back to 40, then cut back to 1.5 or whatever, and then
that's awesome.
Whatever it needs. Right. So they call it an IntelliCharger or something.
That's from Excess Power.
Yes. So whenever I have this thing plugged into shore power, like I do at my house, like as soon as I get home tonight, I'll plug this baby into shore power. Yep. What do I need to do with this stuff? Just leave it on. Leave it on. Even the battery switch. You can, yes, because you've got this charging. Because with the battery switch off, even plugged into shore power, none of this will work. Oh, now it will. It will? Yes, because you turn this on, it'll charge the batteries. Now, when you have that switch flipped off for your battery, that used to stop that from working. Oh, now it doesn't. It killed all the 12 volt. Well, now, so I don't even have to turn that one on over there. I don't. Well, unless I need, unless you want a 12 volt lighting, yes. Which it's okay to leave that too. So basically, that one right there is going to start the generator. That's it. And whatever stuff like the 12 volt lighting and stuff, right? I don't really. But it's being protected and charged by this. Oh wow. Before, I think that 12 volt system before your charger was burnt up. It had to have been. I believe it. We put 2 new batteries in that. We've only had this trailer for
6 months.
6 months. So that'll solve it. That should. Awesome. Because basically we replaced it and we've added some more. And that fuse that you pulled out of there, that was all chewed up. Remember when Monkey goes, my God, how does this even happen to a fuse? And we couldn't get it out. Right. Which we didn't have at that time. We didn't have any vice grips or it's buried up in there. Yes. And so Monkey messed with it. Monkey goes, I think this is your whole problem. Well, we came to the track one morning and the battery was dead. Well, I had left the 12-volt lighting on. I did it on purpose.
If you do that and you have a power supply on, it'll just keep charging the battery.
Well,
you know?
like I thought that's what would happen last time. I was plugged into shore power, and it still ran the battery dead.
But see, if that thing's bad, that part
Exactly.
is bad,
So
yeah.
it must not have been working, and that's what Monkey said.
Exactly.
Your shore power should charge that battery up, and it didn't.
And the way it did was that thing was plugged into the wall, and so when you go to shore power, it's got power, it pops on, it charges. Well, now you can control the on-off of it if you want. You should just leave it on, and when you kill AC power to it, it'll just shut off. But make sure all your battery switches are off, mostly when it's sitting and it's not plugged in.
When one goes bad, you just replace them both.
Yep.
Get it out of the way.
I set your clock, fixed your battery in it.
Oh, right on, right on.
So you know our little problem we had.
No, I don't. No.
So I go to check this and it won't light up. I'm like, oh,
That's battery.
pull it off.
I was
It's
fixing
got
to say, that's
batteries.
not connected to anything. Did you run the AC and it was all
Yeah,
good and all
run
that?
the AC, ran the heater.
Okay, I'm just,
But I
the
didn't
only
run the compressor.
nightmare that could, I don't have a compressor. The only thing that could possibly be a nightmare is that back door.
Yeah, we didn't touch it
off
either.
of this right here. That hydraulic pump.
Right.
That's the only thing that I'm hoping, I'm sure it's fine. But we're about to find out when we put the car in.
The only thing it got was this and this. And then this one still worked. That's how quick we, you know.
I had to let you know what a big deal anyways. Like this one was burnt out whenever I got it.
But now these are LED. They didn't come out the color I wanted, but they're a little bit orangier.
So were all these. That's why I went to change all these lights in it, and that's how we figured out that this one was burnt out. I guess this one is too. So yeah, let's listen to this.
So we got the KMC5 head
What we got
unit.
here?
How many speakers we got?
Got 4 up in the top, basically the same speakers.
Got
that you have
2
in the
there, 2 in the back. I know there's some subside around here somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically.
there it is.
He said he didn't want anything big and outrageous, but he wanted something that would do the job.
Yes. Right.
So we're doing a down firing vented L7Q class 10.
Oh, well.
So basically you have a vent firing down and a sub firing down. It doesn't take up a lot of room. It can be run efficiently, so you're not running batteries dead all the time. You can decide how loud you want to play it. Like you can play it with a cover on it. And at lower volumes, the cover won't rattle. They set off the floor, so it vents out from under it. And once you start getting loud with it, it starts rattling. And then you can take it off, set
that's
it
what
back there, and
speakers do.
hammer it.
Yeah.
So
Let's
we
hear
kind
it.
of left you where you got options. It's hidden, you know.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted, man. It's out of the way. I can stack something on top of it if I need to while we're driving. You know, it's perfect. We just got to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know us. There doesn't need to be any tricking. I was sleeping in my at the time I didn't have any of this. I was sleeping in my my gooseneck, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and everything in my gooseneck was rattling, and he was 2-3 down from me and across, you know, and he was asleep. He goes, man, my bad, it was Jeffrey. Yeah, I was asleep. I said, how could you sleep? You know, I don't, and you couldn't hear any of it, but you could feel the bass, you know. But man, I get it. When it's late at night, Jeffrey's trying to help other racers out, like
He's welding on stuff,
He's welding headers and stuff.
rebuilding
He
Lutz's
wants
car.
that music loud, and I don't blame him. Whenever I'm working, I like it too.
Yeah.
You know, and
it almost helps you focus. For me, anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and the YouTube people are gonna hear it, and they're probably gonna say, "Oh, that's fucked up to do that to fans." When I'm busy and I've got my mind on what I'm trying to do to my car, and I turn the music up, I don't have to listen to people yell "Sean, Sean, Sean" the whole time. You know what I mean? And you may think that that's fucked up, but I'm there to race.
You've got time-sensitive things you have to do.
When it's time to go out and mingle with the fans, sign stuff, then there's a time for that. But when there's a time for me to get my car ready for the next round or for the first round, whatever, it helps me focus on what I gotta do with music blaring. I know it don't make any sense, but with music blaring, I can keep everything in my mind.
It's one thing.
Free.
It's not 60 things.
Well, and when you have so many people yelling your name, you want to go like and hear what every one person has to say.
That's the 60 things. They're all separate. The music's all the same thing.
That's right. And whenever I hear a good song and I get it in my head and I start doing this right here, I can just do anything I need to do to my car. You know, the stereo that you put in at my shop, man, that thing don't never get played until I'm out there by myself, and then I turn it up loud. You know,
that's what it was made for.
Yeah. So
that was the whole reason behind doing that first one that we did in y'all's shop.
It's just now coming up. That's weird because I did it whenever we got here. That's the airbags on the trailer raising
really?
up. Yeah.
But when we did that first one for you guys, and we added and added and added until it got real big, and that is where we started to notice that, man, this could be really great in the shop.
Yes.
And we had a little bit of a system ourselves in our shop, but we just upped the ante and put a system like you guys had in our shop.
Man, so they killed it on this thing.
Well, we knew that they would. Like, that's why I told him, I told him, don't get crazy with it because I know how elaborate they can get.
Yeah.
So if you tell them, don't get crazy with it, it's still going to be plenty for anybody. Enough, you know, and it is. So,
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. It's going to help us work this summer whenever we're, you know, inevitably changing out motors or swapping rods or whatever. That's going to be key to our operation for sure.
Believe it or not, and I'm sure some people can relate with me, whenever loud music is blaring and it's just in your face and it's almost too much to handle, that's my happy place. Like I feel like I can be alone and I can do what I need to do whenever it's like that. So, you know, that's why cruising around in my donk is one of my favorite things ever. You know, but then you take your wife with you and she complains because it's too loud. It's not near as cool. You know, like you got to turn it down.
It's not cool that it's not loud. It's whenever you try to have a conversation with us and we can't hear nothing.
Yeah, no, I know. But
No,
that's why when I'm by myself, it doesn't matter. There's no conversation to be had. So
the whole thing with my wife earlier, it didn't matter how loud. She was fine with it.
yeah,
She had to be.
yeah, that's your livelihood.
That's
man.
what I do, yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, man, is it on? Oh. So we knew Kicker would kill it. So what do I do here?
There's a switch on there that'll flip the deck off. Maybe there is not. Just turn the head unit on.
Yeah, you just oh, you gotta hold
Surely it's source.
Oh, source.
There you go.
There you go. Perfect. Man, I didn't get one of these.
You just leave this
I did.
on, and then when you turn your generator off, it'll just shut off. And then you flip that off just to isolate the batteries. When you flip that
I'm
off,
gonna leave that on for now because we're fixing to have to load the smart car and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, that's cool.
Same
I
thing.
call it smart car all the time.
But like I say, you can leave all that in line, And realistically, that battery should do everything the trailer originally wanted it to do. You're leaving this on by leaving the switch on, so it's going to charge both batteries.
Yes.
When you flip that off, it's just going to take the car audio battery out of line, is what's going to happen.
Perfect.
But when you have them in line, you got double the power than what you had before.
Jay came to get you.
They're waiting, man. Let's get out of here.
So they killed it just like we knew they would. So man, we're gonna enjoy this thing this summer and any other time that we got to take this truck and trailer. So as always, you know, we say it time and time again, let us know what you want here. The channel's just growing and growing. We're gonna keep giving y'all the content anytime that we can. So, you know, we're fixing to start filming again. It may slow down a little bit, but we're still gonna give you some. So as always, thank you for the support. Share it, subscribe it, click the like button, comment, tell us what you like, what you don't like. I understand a lot of you don't like me for whatever reason. That's cool too, as long as you keep watching. So until next time, we'll see y'all.